our time and, of course, sharing all those details, putting that into perspective on what's transpired as far as this tragedy is concerned for all of our viewers. On that note, viewers, we're shifting focus to more developments coming in. We're now learning that at least 13 people have lost their lives after a boat carrying undocumented migrants sank near the border between Thailand and Malaysia. Now, according to sources, 13 people have been rescued and still hundreds are missing from a group of 300 people, most of whom are Rohingyas who left Myanmar's impoverished Rakhine state 2 weeks ago on a larger vessel before splitting onto smaller boats. Now, rescue efforts have entered a second day with the search area expanded from 170 to 256 square nautical miles. And according to experts, the search could even last for 7 days. Members of the mainly Muslim Rohingya minority continue to flee persecution in Buddhist majority Myanmar, where they are denied citizenship and are treated as outsiders. Listen in to what Langkawi District Police Chief had to say.
8 November tahun ini, jam lebih kurang dalam 9:30 pagi, Balai Polis Air Hangat telah menerima maklumat melalui panggilan telefon daripada seorang individu yang bertugas di jeti Teluk Ewa. Beliau telah dimaklumkan oleh master kapal Hong Lin 1 daripada Filipin yang dalam perjalanan untuk mengambil simen di jeti Teluk Ewa telah menemui 3 individu iaitu 2 lelaki dan 1 perempuan terapung di laut berhampiran Teluk Cincin, Kuala Teriang. Hasil siasatan awal mendapati bahawa kesemua individu yang ditahan terdiri daripada warga Myanmar, etnik Rohingya dan Bangladesh. Mereka memaklumkan bahawa telah menaiki sebuah kapal kayu daripada kawasan Butidong, Myanmar bersama lebih kurang 300 orang penumpang dengan tujuan untuk masuk ke Malaysia. Perjalanan tersebut dipercayai telah bermula kira-kira 2 minggu yang lepas. Pada 6 November 2025, kesemua penumpang ini telah dilaporkan dipindahkan ke dalam 2 buah bot barasingan di tengah laut. Sebuah bot kecil membawa sekitar 70 orang, manakala bot yang lebih besar membawa kira-kira 230 orang.
Joining us on the broadcast is Noor Aziza, Rohingya Maya Fuinor Network from Sydney. Thank you so much for taking out time and speaking to us on NewsX World. We've just heard what the police chief in Langkawi had to say. They had in fact received a call on the 8th of November and they learned that this larger vessel that had left Myanmar earlier had in fact set sail 2 weeks ago, and this distressed call was received 2 days ago. We do know that so far 13 people have been found dead and dozens still remain missing after this boat capsized. I want to understand from you, what details have you been able to confirm about this tragedy up until now?
It's honestly heartbreaking. Today I received videos that were really hard to watch. Children and babies floating lifeless on the sea, some still holding onto debris, others calling out for help that never came. Al Jazeera headline today stated that 1 dead, dozens missing after a migrant boat sinks off Malaysia coast. This barely captures the horror of this. At least 11 people are confirmed dead, around 280 are still missing, mostly of women and children. What people don't realize is this could have easily been me, my sisters, my nieces, my mum. These people have fled bullets and burning villages in Rakhine State in Myanmar. There is an ongoing genocide that is very much still active that they're trying to escape, only to drown in the ocean. Their bodies swallowed by the same sea they believed would only lead them to safety. All they wanted was to live with dignity, not to die nameless in the sea. And just to add to that, according to UNHCR, more than 650 Rohingya have gone missing or died in the last year and a half, and that's hundreds of lives lost while the world just watches completely silent. So reports say that this boat carried around 300 people. It broke near Langkawi, Malaysia, and only a small number of people were rescued. The rest are still missing. every hour that passes makes it less likely that they'll be found alive.
Indeed, and several Rohingya refugees continue to take these deadly sea routes because of the continued bombardment from the junta. I want to understand from you, are conditions worsening again in the camps and in Myanmar at large? Not much information is available because not much information is allowed to trickle outside from Myanmar itself, considering the tight cap that has been put by the military junta on free press over there.
Yes, absolutely. Things are definitely worsening. Inside Myanmar, the Arakan Army, an ethnic Rakhine armed group, now controls over 90% of Rakhine State. They once fought the military, but now they've turned their weapons onto the Rohingya too. Villages have been burned, children set on fire, women enduring rape, and Rohingya men and boys forcibly recruited. The Myanmar military, they've always been the main perpetrator of the genocide, but now the Rohingya are being attacked from both sides. The violence has changed shape, but not its purpose. It's to completely eradicate us, the Rohingya, from the planet Earth. I saw the aftermath for myself this year when I visited the Rohingya refugee camps in Bangladesh and Indonesia this year. In Bangladesh, I met a young boy. His name is Abdur Rahman. He was only 3 years of age. He lost his leg in a bombing. His father was shot dead in front of him while they tried to flee. Now, when I looked at him, I saw my own nephew. In Indonesia and Malaysia, I met mothers whose children drowned at sea. One woman, she told me that she still dreams of her son calling her name from the sea. I met many women who endured gender-based violence and rape by human traffickers on the boat. The camps are overcrowded, food rations have been cut, there's no access to work or education in Bangladesh, in the largest refugee camp in the world. People are living in limbo, and the genocide continues to, according to the United Nations, the most persecuted people in the entire world. So when they risk the sea, it's not out of desire to enjoy a 5-star hotel in Malaysia or Indonesia. It's out of desperation to survive.
Absolutely. Amidst all of this, we've seen certain rights groups coming out and criticizing certain regional governments for failing to coordinate rescue efforts. Do you believe Thailand and Malaysia are doing enough at the moment? With respect to this particular incident in terms of their response to this tragedy and the larger crisis that the Rohingya face?
No, absolutely not. We've been watching the same tragedy unfold for over a decade now. The same routes, the same traffickers, the same silence from governments and civil society who say they didn't know until it was too late. Malaysia and Thailand know these routes. These boats leave every single year. Yet there's still no regional rescue plan, no coordinated response, and no safe landing for refugees. Governments keep saying they're combating human trafficking, but you cannot fight traffickers while criminalizing the victims that are escaping the very genocide. Refugees are not criminals. They are desperate people with no safe path left. But the lack of public support for the Rohingya across ASEAN is deeply painful. It enables policies that continue to dehumanize a people, again, the UN has called the most persecuted in the world. Yet we've seen millions in Malaysia and Indonesia rise for Gaza, which I deeply respect. Yet where is that same energy for a genocide unfolding right here in our region, 3 hours flight away from Malaysia? In my organization, we've monitored and assessed online hate speech. And what we found is a complete oxymoron. Real profiles from across ASEAN spreading anti-Rohingya hate, calling us ungrateful, lazy, and black refugees, while falling for decades of propaganda in Myanmar and beyond. Yet in those same profiles, you'll see on their profile, it says Free Gaza in their bios. An oxymoron that exposes the very contradiction between their words of solidarity and their acts of hate. So we need people to see this very hypocrisy, to realise that humanity can never be selective. The Rohingya deserve the same compassion, same solidarity that others receive. Because sympathy won't bring back those lost at sea today or yesterday, only action will, coordinated rescue efforts, humanitarian visas, and regional accountability.
Absolutely. With that, I'd like to thank you, ma'am, for taking out time and, of course, putting all of that into perspective for our viewers who are watching the broadcast. On that note, we're shifting our focus towards